Let's start with the biggest one. May 9th, 2026. Saturday night. The United Theater on Broadway in Los Angeles. Netflix is a joke fest. Had Wild N out as part of its lineup, and that night, DDG showed up for the Wild Style segment. Now, DDG, been in the Wild N out world before, so this wasn't his first time on that stage. But this night was different. He had his own live stream running for his fans while the battle was happening. Around 11,870 people were watching live as he walked out to go bar for bar with Nick Cannon. Nick kicked things off light. He clowned DDG for being a streamer, said, "You can stream these nuts," then laughed it off himself, saying,
"Wow, stop! Where we with it, Joker? Wow, stop! Where we with it, Joker?"
He's just jealous because streamers are making more money than him. Then DDG decided to go there. He rapped, "Nick doing this show to pay child support, but he really should wild and abort." DDG kept his confidence up, pointing at Nick, working the stage. Nick smiled, took a breath, stepped forward, and said, "Talk about my kids. Yeah, that's fine. But at least my baby mama lets me see mine." That line did something to the room. This wasn't Nick making something up to sound clever. He was pointing directly at something that's on public record. DDG and Halle Bailey went through a very public custody situation. It was settled in October 2025. Los Angeles County Superior Court filings show that Halle Bailey kept primary physical custody of Halo. DDG got visitation on Wednesdays and certain weekends. That's what Nick was referencing. And DDG felt it. DDG said out loud, "Oh, what the **K. His whole energy shifted. He went from performer to person in about 2 seconds. The audience and the cast both reacted, some covering their mouths, some just stunned. DDG went from controlling the stage to visibly searching for what to say next. He eventually fired back. He targeted Nick's age, his marital history, brought up Mariah Carey, and then dropped this. "You like 60 plus, and still not married. / we don't know ***T about you, but Mariah Carey. / I can see my kid, but you can't see yours. / you got like 20 kids, all your baby mamas is whores."
You got like 20 kids, all your baby mamas is whores. Damn!
Nick's response? One line. Completely calm. Not all of them. DDG went on his live stream later and basically walked everything back. He said he didn't mean any of it. He apologized for what he said about the mothers of Nick's children. And then he dropped this. Some of his bars were suggested to him by ChatGPT. His actual words were, "ChatGPT told me to say that, bro." He admitted that when Nick hit him with that custody line, he had nothing real to say back. He even said out loud, "What am I going to say back to that?" Nick posted on Instagram the next day, called it all love, called DDG my guy. Done. Now, here's what actually made this clip travel the way it did. It wasn't just the insults. Wild and Out has seen personal roasts before. That's literally the format. What was different here is that DDG walked in ready to joke about Nick's life, but wasn't ready to have his own life reflected back at him. Nick joked about his kids and child support, topics Nick has addressed publicly 100 times, topics he's genuinely unbothered by. But the moment Nick pointed at a real court agreement involving DDG's actual son, the performer disappeared and the person showed up. That gap between what you're willing to dish and what you're willing to take is what made this moment stick. 1 week before the battle, Nick Cannon sat down on the TMZ podcast on May 2nd. His Wild and Out co-host, Rip Michaels, was there too.
Wild and Out after party, May 9th, Saturday, after the big show, we celebrating.
And someone asked him the question that floats around his life every single May, with 12 kids and 6 different mothers. What does Mother's Day actually look like for you? His answer was short. "I'm spending time with my mother. It's Mother's Day. It's not baby mama's day." Nick Cannon's children, for the record, twins Moroccan and Monroe with Mariah Carey, born April 30th, 2011. Golden Sagan with Brittany Bell, born February 2017. Powerful Queen, also with Brittany Bell, born December 2020. Twins Zion Mixolydian and Zillion Air with DJ Abby. D. La Rosa, born June 2021. Zen with Alyssa Scott, born June 2021. passed away from brain cancer in December 2021 at 5 months old. Rise Messiah, also with Alyssa Scott. Legendary Love with model Bray Teasy, born June 2022. And Onyx Ice Cole with Lanisha Cole, born September 2022. But here's what he actually said when people pushed further. He doesn't ignore the 6 women raising his kids. He makes sure every single one of his children takes part in getting their mom a gift. And he makes sure those gifts are personalized. He said on the podcast, they're not going to get the same thing because they ain't got the same kids.
But there is a difference when parenting a son and then when parenting a daughter.
Each gift reflects the specific child giving it, not just a generic occasion. He also said something that people kind of glossed over. The holiday that actually gets complicated for him isn't Mother's Day, it's Valentine's Day. He admitted that one year, a card mix-up happened where some of the mothers received handwritten letters that were intended for someone else. And Father's Day is the one that gets overwhelming because all 12 children want to spend it with him at the same time, and there's only one of him. Nick has talked publicly about his mother, Beth Gardner, showing up consistently throughout his life at major, personal, and professional moments. Whatever else you think about how Nick Cannon runs his family, the relationship with his own mother has been a constant. And on the one day a year, specifically designated to honor mothers, he goes to her. People wanted drama. Nick gave them something more boring and more real. This one came out of the same May 2nd TMZ podcast appearance.
Got some
I'm
kids
spending
to
time
see.
with my mother.
Your mother.
It's my Mother's Day.
So you're not going to see any.
It's not baby mama's day.
Yeah.
And it hit harder than the Mother's Day stuff. Nick's twins, Moroccan and Monroe, turned 15 on April 30th, 2026. They just celebrated their birthday. Nick took them to Six Flags. Mariah threw them a full party with custom t-shirts and fireworks, and the conversation naturally went to where these kids are in life right now. High school, teenage years, dating. Someone asked Nick, does he let Moroccan date? My son has been dating, he said, and I've allowed it. I encouraged it.
Monroe, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. I was like, but let this be a lesson to know that you got to be very careful what you say on social media.
Correct.
Then the follow-up. Does Monroe get the same? No, absolutely not. He didn't try to spin it. He said straight up, first of all, it's absolutely a double standard. And I know I get in trouble a lot because I say things with my chest. His reasoning was this. He believes there are specific dangers for his daughter in the dating world that don't apply the same way to his son. He's worried about someone physically hurting Monroe. He said out loud that if that happened, his reaction could have legal consequences for him. He called the idea of his daughter being harmed his worst nightmare. For Moroccan, the concern was lighter. When someone asked if he worries about gold diggers going after his son, Nick literally laughed and said, no, his mama is Mariah Carey. That kid's got enough money to foot the bill. The comment that went most viral came from a regular person online, and it said, he's protecting his daughter from the things he's not teaching his son. To his credit, Nick did lay out a path for Monroe. He said they made a deal. If she can explain to him in advance what will happen on a date, she can go. One condition, Moroccan has to come along. But you ain't going one-on-one with no little bastard anywhere, he said. Moroccan himself reacted to the whole thing online, which added another layer to the conversation without fully resolving it. One thing worth mentioning, Moroccan and Monroe's primary custody is with Mariah Carey. Nick's rules apply in his house. Mariah hasn't said a word publicly about any of this. Make of that what you will.
One's more into the streaming and the gaming, and one, my daughter is just like, she's using it as most 15-year-old girls do.
Right.
April 30th, 2026. The same day as his twin's birthday, Nick stopped by the TMZ offices with Rip Michaels. The official reason was to talk about Wild and Out, On the Road. The touring live show he's running in partnership with Netflix is a joke fest. He sat down with Harvey Levin and Charles, talked about the tour, mentioned his family. He brought up that Mariah Carey had recently crashed Moroccan's Twitch livestream, which is genuinely funny and deserved more attention. The moment that got clipped and shared came near the end. Harvey suggested Nick host the TMZ celebrity tour.
All right, guys. I gotta get back to streaming. Everybody's in my room.
Listen, I want them to know that I love them.
Nick said he'd do it on one condition. Harvey had to come on Wild and Out. Harvey agreed. And then, Right there in the office, Nick and Rip decided to give Harvey a preview of what that would look like. They pointed at Harvey Levin's shoes and hit him with, "Harvey, what are those?" The office lost it. Harvey laughed. The whole room went up. Harvey Levin, who has spent decades in the business of documenting other people's lives, who has interviewed presidents and celebrities and everyone in between, got roasted in his own building over his shoes by a man who was there to promote a roadshow. For context, What Are Those started as a Vine in 2015. A guy named Brandon Moore pointed at a police officer's boots and delivered the line. It spread across the internet almost immediately and became one of the first meme formats to genuinely go viral at scale. 11 years later, Nick Cannon is still pulling it out with full energy and getting the room. TMZ called Nick one of the hardest working men in Hollywood in the same piece. He won a rap battle by referencing a real court filing. He explained Mother's Day in a way that made sense once you heard the full answer, not just the headline. He admitted to a parenting double standard openly, named it himself before anyone else could, and sparked a conversation that went way beyond his own family. And he walked into someone else's office and made everyone laugh without a script or a plan. Nick Cannon doesn't manage his public image the way most celebrities do. He doesn't soften things before he says them. He doesn't run his statements through a team before they go out. When he says something that people push back on, he explains his reasoning. But he doesn't usually take it back. The rap battle worked because Nick was calm and DDG wasn't. The Mother's Day answer worked because it was honest. The dating rules drew criticism because he was too honest. And the Harvey moment worked because Nick Cannon is genuinely funny when there's nothing to prove. He has 12 children, 6 co-parenting relationships, a live touring show, a television production, and he still found time to stop by TMZ and roast a man's shoes on a Thursday afternoon. Say what you want about his choices. The man shows up.